Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 46 of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I am Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by the amazing Jack Cepeda.
Shitty beards. That's what all three of us have. We all can't grow them. We got shitty facial hair, guys. This is just our lives, and it's yet another thing in common.
We are far from the Greek philosophers of old.
Yeah, great for the audio medium. Just letting them know what we look like. That's perfect.
Dude, I grow facial hair. We're facially hair challenged.
We need someone that's like only listened to our show and never seen what we've looked like. So like at one point they can do like an artist rendition of what they think we look like just from listening to us.
Oh, snap.
It'd be great.
Facially hair challenge. I think we should start a rally. We should start an organization to raise awareness. It's a real problem, just like the bioluminescent Collin Sparling on our podcast.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I had a very, very medium terrible weekend.
Oh, not medium rare?
Yeah. No, medium terrible.
Yikes.
It was medium terrible. So I can't say it was all bad because there were some highlights there, but there were some really low points this past weekend for me.
It's too bad, man.
Yeah. And so it all began on Friday. Had a pretty decent day at work, right? And
oh shit.
You know, yeah, I had a pretty decent day at work. I got to meet a lot of cool people because we had it on campus at the student union. For those who don't know, OSU, I work for the Ohio State University. And so we were running an event on campus, and I got to meet a whole lot of cool people. And I had a really long day. It was up at like 7 o'clock that morning, and we just went all day nonstop. And so I got done with work around 3 o'clock, only to find that my car had been towed.
Oh,
it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
What time?
Yeah. So around 3 o'clock. So unbeknownst to me, I parked on a road in which street sweeping was happening. So they towed my car. Yeah, it was the second Friday of the month, so I got towed. So luckily Robert came to my rescue, drove me over to the impound lot, and I had to pay a nice hearty 180 smackaroonies to get my car out of the lot.
And like 2 hours of time.
Yeah, it was great. Robert was having a great time waiting on my ass.
How much?
$180.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Well, I think your outlook on parking on wrong streets have really done a 180 now, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I've lived here for 3 years. I was 2 months away from just moving away, you know, and not having to deal with the car stuff anymore. And it hit me. So, Robert picked me up, went to the impound lot, got my car out, and then we proceeded to have a good night out on the town to help me forget my woes. So then the next day I drove home, went home and visited some friends and family over the weekend because we were getting ready to move soon out to the Pacific Northwest. So trying to, get some time in with everybody back home. And so today decided to make my way back to good old Columbus. And I passed by a state trooper over on 23.
Dude, you are lying.
And then he towed your car again.
Yeah.
He picked it up himself.
He said, you know what? This isn't even my job, but I hate you this much.
Dude, I was like, because I was driving, right? And I was a good long distance from the state trooper. I saw him like well down the line. So I let off the accelerator, and I was like, I'm just going to start slowing down just in case I am speeding a little bit, but not like I was going like 70, 76, 75.
In a 65? That's not a little bit.
What's that?
I mean, it's a lot of bit.
And a 65? That's a lot of bit.
Well, anyway.
I mean, hold on. You didn't hit your brakes, did you? Because that's just like basically
no.
telling
I didn't hit my
them.
brakes. I'm not that dumb.
Okay.
I'm not that dumb.
Okay.
But no, but here's the thing, though. I was going with the flow of traffic. It wasn't like I was gunning it past everyone.
A likely story. Okay.
No, I seriously was. If I would be the first to admit if I was full blown, just like fucking race car, like
100
speed
miles
racer
per hour
down the road. Yeah.
Or excuse me, 88 miles per hour.
Right, 88 miles per hour. But yeah, so I let off the accelerator, and by the time I passed the state trooper, I was probably doing about 70. And I was like, it would just be, the cherry on top of the shit cake if the guy pulled out behind me and pulled me over. What happens? He pulls out behind me, and he's like riding behind me. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not going to pull me over because we were driving for a while. He didn't flick his lights on. And I was doing like 66 at this point. Like with him driving behind me, he flicks on his lights. I'm
of
like,
course. Wow.
Are you serious right now? Are you serious? You're kidding. Like you're not actually pulling me over, right? Like this isn't happening right now. So
I cut my long hair and everything.
Yeah. So I pull over and he's like, so yeah, man, I pulled you over because you were speeding. And I waited a little while because I wanted to get to some place today where you could pull over, but I'm going to give you a written citation today. And I'm like, dude, like, did you not see the number on my window here? I just got towed on Friday. Like,
They don't care.
They don't.
I'm like, dude, I was like this close to just getting on my knees and begging the officer. I'm just like, dude, just please don't do this. Please don't do this.
So what did you do?
He just gave me, and I was on my way. Like, that's just what happened.
Wow.
God,
Like, I
some
told him
shit.
I got towed. He's like, I'm sorry to hear that, but there you go.
Wow.
Drive safe.
Man, for 76, I mean, like for 10 miles per hour.
He
over the speed
clocked
limit.
me doing 75.
10 miles.
I
over.
mean, to be safe in Ohio, I remember never going over 71.
It's, yeah,
That was
the
a personal
rule
rule of
actually,
mine.
growing up, the rule I heard was 8, you're great, 9, you're mine.
I never heard that before. I would.
well, my buddy
I'd go
that-
6.
Yeah, I had a
Over.
buddy in criminal justice who told me about that one.
So he knows. He's in. He's on the inside with the cops. That's what they told
I think
him.
it's just
Right.
like it varies cop to cop, dude.
Well, here's the thing, though. What a lot of people don't know, and I think this is true, but like cops are supposed to decide whether or not they're going to give you a ticket before they even get out of the cruiser.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. That's how that's supposed to work.
It makes sense. That way you can't negotiate your way out, or at least you shouldn't be able to.
That's probably how they're trained.
Yeah.
but
Right,
They're still
right.
free to do whatever they want. I know
Right,
you know what? I'm not going to incriminate anyone. I know someone who used the female wiles of crying their eyeballs out to get out of tickets.
Yikes.
I
So
definitely know that.
this someone's a female that narrows it down.
Yep, 50%.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
if you
So
guys ever wanted to know how you lose $300 in a weekend, that's how you do it.
I mean, there
Man,
are other
dude,
ways.
That is, you said it was a medium bad weekend. That's a real bad weekend. And
Yeah.
last night, I was pissed off because I spent an hour looking for my new AirPods that I had for a week and I couldn't find them. And so I was angry. But your weekend,
I joke about that all the time. It's like, dude, people are going to lose those things so much.
because they're so expensive. So I was really angry. And then I did find them. But after an hour of stressing, so my weekend was nothing compared to yours. I can't even complain.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was just like, half laughing, half like screaming. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, okay, great.
Great,
I'm done driving. I'm done.
Oh, dude, that's so brutal, man. My last encounter with police officers in Columbus, I actually got out of a ticket. I'm actually decent at getting out of tickets.
Oh, did you use the female wiles?
I didn't use my female wiles, but what I did was like I drove a black Honda Accord with like super winted tindos.
Super winning.
So the air couldn't see you.
Super tinted windows. So what I would do is when I got pulled over was, I don't recommend this, by the way, but like I was on 23 in Dublin, or in Worthington, I mean, and I got pulled over and I didn't pull over right away, but I drove to like some side road, and I do not recommend this, by the way. But I did not pull over right away, but I led him behind this building.
Oh,
And then you took out your
So
gat.
bad. No, dude. I'm not admitting any crimes on this podcast, on the internet. But I pulled, and I went behind this building, and then I pulled over there, like off the main road, and then I put in park, and I rolled down all my windows, and I put my hands on the steering wheel, and I even opened my sunroof, I'm pretty sure, so he could see everything. Right?
What?
Dude, when you're a minority, you got to be careful, bro.
He's got a point, yeah.
So I rolled down all, because they're tinted. He can't see nothing. So I rolled down all my windows. I even opened my sunroof, put my hands on the wheel. He comes up behind me. Guess what the first thing I said was? Hello, officer. That's what I did. I said, hello. I was the first one to talk. It's like, and I like took the bass out of my voice. I was like,
Oh.
hello, officer.
Hello, sir. Hi.
How are you today?
What did you?
So, and
what's
he's
wrong?
like, why didn't you? And so he goes, why didn't you pull over? And he had his hand on his gun.
Yikes.
Not out, but it was like on it, right? Like ready to flip it up. And I go, oh, I just wanted to get you out of harm's way.
Just looking out for you,
God.
sir.
Just look at, I didn't want you to have to get out of your car in the middle of the road.
Dude,
Which
you know
is
what?
true.
I mean, it's true. The thing is, though, it's like, I would, at least for me, when like I've only ever gotten pulled over 3 times. First time was a warning, and then 2 tickets now. And every time it happens, it's just like you almost go into fight or flight response. Not like true, obviously, like not completely, but like something similar, right? Like I get really nervous, right? And you don't always make like the smartest decision.
No,
like you're
stressed.
definitely not all there.
Yeah,
right,
for sure. You
exactly.
definitely don't have the best judgment there. So that was my judgment. And he goes, "Oh, well, next time you get pulled over, just pull over." And I go, "Okay." And then I hadn't had any points on my license, like, or anything. I haven't had any, for years. And so he looked it up. He goes, "Well, we're gonna let you go off with the." He goes, "Why are you speeding?" Because I was going like 30 and a 25 or something like that.
That's
I
not
go,
even bad.
I know, dude. And I was like, "Oh well," but it was like, it was like right behind like the police headquarters too. Is stupid.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyways, he goes, "Why are you speeding?" I'm like, I'm actually just trying to go to the barbershop before they close." Which was the truth, and he goes, "All right." And then he went back. I think he checked my stuff. He saw that I was like squeaky, embarrassingly clean on my record. And then he just gave me my stuff back. He's like, "Yeah, we'll let you off with a warning. Have a good day. Remember what I said, etc." I was like, "Thank you, sir." And that was the end. But
and then your testicles dropped again, and
I made sure he knew that I wasn't like a threat like right away, because I don't know. I ain't chancing it with cops, dude.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
I'm low risk when it comes to the police officers,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm a recently graduated college kid. Don't make much.
You said
money.
that to him?
No, it's not the money part, but like I told him I was recently graduated.
What about you, Robert? Knock on wood. Any encounters with the popo of the C-bus?
Nope, not even a little bit. But granted, I've only been driving for about a year now. So
see, the crazy thing is, I've gotten both of my tickets in the past 6 months.
Bro,
and before that, never had a single problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
you sound like a fast driver, so I'm telling you, if you're driving to Cedar Point next week, so if you get a ticket, then I'm not helping you with that.
yikes.
Listen, if I get a ticket at that point, it's just that's like just pure stupidity on my part. Like,
I'm sure you're going to be like grandma in it. It's going to take us.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, does
You
that
sure you
say
guys need to
60?
go to Cincinnati first?
Does that say 65? Let's go 50. Let's be safe.
Let's go. Yeah.
No, dude, it's just honestly, at the end of the day, it was just all really bad luck.
It is. That's horrendous, man.
It's just what it is. Like, I mean, okay, maybe I think the towing thing was probably more of bad unobservancy, things like that.
Negligence. I think, is the
Unobservancy, I
word.
like that. Unobservancy.
Well, I mean, yeah, they have signs posted there. I'm sure that it says street sweeping, blah 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 blah.
And
I
in
bet the
his,
signs say, "Make sure you don't have bad unobservancy."
yeah,
Right.
like, did you not see that bad unobservancy sign? I mean, I know it. I've seen it. It's on the corner of 12th
Bad
and High.
unobservancy in your area. Caution.
Yeah.
Like blind people in your area. That's me. They need to put a fucking sign in my area for that.
Yikes.
Oh, good lord. All right, yeah.
Right, so
but that's my weekend.
Sucks.
It's a shitty weekend. So let's brighten up your day, week, whatever, with talking about some games we've been playing, because we haven't done that in like a while. Jack, from what I remember, you said you didn't really get to play much, right? So
No, man. I've been living the working man's life, and the hours just go by way too fast, and none of the hours include gaming. So it's a sad state of affairs over here.
yeah, I mean, we all have those moments, right?
Ugh.
Colin, what about you? What have you been doing?
So a while back, a game that I never got to bring up, and I should because it's great, is a game called Valkyria Chronicles Remastered.
Yo.
So Valkyria Chronicles,
snap.
Valkyria Chronicles is a game that made a lot of lists for like best JRPG on PS3 and stuff like that, like, or at least up there on those lists. And so it was always a game that I was curious about, and I was always planning on picking it up on PS3 because I was sure it was cheap. Then I heard they were remastering it, so I waited. And so I waited after the remaster came out and even waited for a price drop on it. Ended up picking it up for like, I don't know, $20. And wow, it is a awesome game. So basically the basis of the game is it's a real-time strategy game that takes place in a fictionalized version of World War II.
Where everyone is drawn as a weeaboo anime character.
Pretty much. But it goes for a really interesting art style, though. It's got like, how do I best explain it? It's like it is like the anime, like kind of almost cel shaded, but it has like hand drawn, like an overlay to it. Think like the new Berserk animation, but actually good.
That's impossible. No, I remember playing that game a while ago. It also has like a lot of it feels like an illustrated book almost.
Yeah, they do like vignettes, and it's like the story takes place in a literal book, and you're going from panel to panel in that book, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you can take it little bits at a time, and they do a good job at breaking it up to where like you're getting a bit of the story, and then you go into the battles. But the thing about the battles is the battles can take you up to an hour and a half, depending on like how meticulous you are. Because it takes a lot of planning. So you have like 6 different classes, I believe. And this was developed by Sega, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Sega's killing it. But yeah, you have about 6 different classes, and it's a matter of balancing your team with those classes that makes the most sense in the situations that you're given. So like if you know you're going to have like a lot of tanks up against you, you want to build your team around like tank busters, which are these dudes with these giant like they almost look like a pole arm, but it's like basically a grenade launcher, like a rocket launcher.
It looks like when you go to medieval times and they have those joust things.
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that.
I think they call that a lance.
Yes.
There you go.
Word.
Yeah, that word. You know that joust thing? You know that very famous thingy. Fire Emblem weapon triangle sword beats joust thing? Joust thing beats sword.
But
Sir Joust thing a lot.
That. But yeah, between that and like actual gunplay, it's a really fun game. So the way the battle works is like different from anything I've ever seen. So the way it works is like whatever scenario you're in, you're shown like a top-down version of the map, and all of your characters on your team and all the characters on the opposing team are represented by icons that represent what their classes are for each character. And so you basically click on whatever character you want to move on your team, and then it takes you down into a third-person over-the-shoulder view. And then you have like a limited movement bar is how it works. So you got to like move within the amount of movement it gives you and put your character into position in order to attack the enemy characters.
Yeah, and then it turns into like almost a third-person shooter there for a second, right?
Right, basically.
A
watered down version of it, but to where like you don't really have to have like too much skill in it. You kind of like you aim at the enemy and it'll tell you how much each area on their body will do damage-wise, and then you just hit the button and the character does that damage or whatever.
Let me just verify. This is a remake of the original Valkyria Chronicles.
So yeah, it's a remaster of Valkyria Chronicles for PS3, now on PS4.
Robert,
it's also
have
on
you
Steam.
played this? Okay,
it is on Steam. Yeah,
I have it on Steam. Have you played it, Robert?
I played Valkyria. I've played like the first 2-3 hours of it way back in the day.
Okay,
so I'm kind of familiar with it, but I also don't know how it goes.
I played 8 to like 9 years ago when it first came out on PS3, and I played a bunch of it. I played like 20 hours or so of it, and man, the art style is so cool. It is.
It's an easy game, or not an easy game, but like an easy game to sink a lot of time into. Rather,
it is fun, man.
Yeah,
if you're a fan of Final Fantasy Tactics or just games or Ogre Battle, like things like that, like man, it is a really good one of those. And it's unique. The music was good. I love the World War II kind of aesthetic of it, and just the feel and like the marching drums kind of music. Man, that is a really good game. I think the character design stands out, and too bad like the series has kind of fallen off since then, but man, that first game had some really good moments. I didn't get to the real crazy magical like blue fucking bitch shit, like
the blue
like
shit.
You know what I mean, like that bad chick, whatever. Like I can't even remember. I
haven't gotten that far yet, so I'm not entirely sure, but they have released 2 other games, or are releasing 1 other game now.
Valkyria
so they came out with
4.
Valkyria Revolution, which got pretty bad reviews. Apparently, it's not a very good game.
Yeah.
And then they're coming out with Valkyria Chronicles 4 this year here in the U.S., which I guess we didn't get 2 and 3 over here stateside.
I wish I was more optimistic for that.
I mean, I'm hoping it's good. I really am.
Yeah,
I want it to be
we'll see
good.
if it's a mainline in the series. I mean, if it's at least as good as remastered, I'd be willing to play it, because remastered I'm enjoying a lot right now. But yeah, like some of the story can be pretty quirky though sometimes. There's literally a part where like, oh yeah, mom and dad left us a tank in our inheritance. Like,
yeah, that tank is
we're
an integral
inheriting
part.
a tank.
That tank is an integral part to gameplay too. Like the tank gameplay is awesome.
It's hilarious.
And to my dearest son, I leave him my Tiger tank that I left in my garage that I've been working
Panzer.
on all summer.
My fucking World War II Panzer tank.
Yeah. Dude, I remember one time there is like a tank in front of the VFW in like Pickerington or something like that in Columbus, and I remember the band I was in at the time, Shatterface. This is so embarrassing.
Nice.
Shatterface. What a dude! Such an edge name. I love it.
we thought it was such a great idea to go take pictures by this tank.
Edgy.
Like band photos, dude. Like band photos. It's so cringy to think about, but
Dude,
hey.
that's like, like Shadow the Hedgehog, the game. Was it you, Robert, that was telling me this?
Yeah,
Out
it totally
the edge.
is like this. Yes.
Out the edge. Ooh.
Dude,
Out the
Valkyria
edge.
But listen, is Valkyria Chronicles on iOS? Because like, man, iPad would be awesome way to play.
Yo,
it.
this would be a great game for iOS, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
I'll have
making me
look
want to
at that.
reinstall it on Steam though, and actually like try to play through it.
Same, dude.
Definitely,
I love
like at least take a night and play through at least a little bit of it. It's a lot of fun.
the
It
art
really
style
is.
holds up incredibly well, I think, and the music is great and the gameplay is great. Like, I have very few complaints about that game.
Yeah, what I will say though is it can be pretty damn unforgiving.
Oh yeah.
Like once because I was in I think it's like the first real boss fight you get into with the dude that has like the ultra tank. I forget the dude's name.
You gotta watch every step. Yeah, like one wrong
100%.
turn is not a good way to go.
And
Yeah,
that way
and
it's
I
a little
can-
XCOM.
I completely fucked up where I placed my tank buster characters. And so I put them on because the map was like split up by a body of water, and like I had my tank busters on like the north side of the map, whereas I should have put them south because now they're taking an eternity. They had to go back around the other side of the map to get to the actual boss. Whoops! So I screwed myself. I spent an hour and a half in this battle. An hour and a half.
Yep.
That's some shit.
And I ended up getting
sucks.
my ass beat at the last second.
That sucks, but man, it's still it's a great game. It's honestly one of my favorite games from that era. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Valkyria Chronicles by Sega. Go check it out, guys.
Man, I mean, I've also got a Sega game that I wanted to talk about. So apparently we're just praising Sega right now.
Hey man,
Sega's killing. Actually, according to GamesIndustry.biz, Sega's overall profit or revenue, one of the two, is up by 30%, despite the fact that they didn't release all the games they intended to this past year.
Because of Yakuza?
I think Yakuza had a huge hand in it, honestly.
I agree. And after beating Yakuza 6, I can say, like, holy crap, do I recommend that game to any and everyone ever on the planet. Like,
Yes,
dude.
Yakuza 6 is a sick game, boy.
Yeah, and okay. So I went, like, my opinion of the Yakuza series went from, oh, Collin loves that game, all right, to, oh, I mean, that looks interesting, it seems funny, but I probably won't buy into it, to playing the Yakuza 6 demo and being like, okay, I'm in. I'm pre-ordering Yakuza 6. And then I played it for 3 days, and then God of War came out, and then I only played God of War because why wouldn't you? And
You guys both beat that game now?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've beaten God of War, which also ends pretty well.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but Yakuza 6 is kind of my favorite game right now this year.
Wow. What?
Like I kind of like the story even more than God of War's.
I can see it.
Personally. Yeah. It's crazy, it's insane. It ends on like an amazing finale with so much like oh shit moments. That's pretty much the whole story really. But my experience with it was like, you guys have played open world games, right? You know how you kind of get to that point like where, you know, okay, the side stuff is fun, but like let's just critical path it and like do the story because I'm sick of the side stuff. Right? You guys know that feeling?
Yeah.
With Yakuza 6, it was more like the main story is so good that I want to critical path it because I want to see the end. Despite how much I want to go sing karaoke and like play mahjong and throw darts.
I'm sorry, sing what?
Karaoke.
What?
That's how
Karaoke?
that's how you say it in Japanese.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Look at how the word's
weeb
spelled.
factor to
There's
3.
no. Where's the E come in at? Like karaoke.
Karaoke.
Like,
I'm just
Yeah,
saying when I hear
there's-
that karaoke, it's just like, come on, man. We know what you're saying.
Oh,
It's karaoke.
do you mean norebang? You want me to use Korean now?
Oh man. All right, keep going. The weeb factor has escalated.
It always it's
the
always
weed levels on this
top.
podcast are too damn high.
Yeah, so like it's a feeling I don't think I've had often in open world games because usually I'm like, okay, I'm sick of this side shit, but it's more like no matter like for me it was like I so badly want to do it, but I need the story more, and I critical pathed it for like 12 hours straight. Like, that's how long it took me to get to. I mean, my first playthrough took me 21-ish hours to get to the end of the story. So that's including some side stuff, and then I spent time after that just going through other side stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I think it's a game where you don't need to go through the old ones to like enjoy the story. I think you'd enjoy more callbacks, right? And like you have a deeper understanding of the story. But I don't feel like my experience suffered because I didn't know the original games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they give you like a thing to like go back and read all the stories, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
which I did.
Okay. Does that take a long time?
It took me like a good 10 minutes. There's a lot of text.
Wait, 10 minutes for one game story or like all of it together?
Kind of all of it together, I think.
Oh, that's not bad at all. 10 minutes, that's Cliff Notes level.
Yeah, what I will say though, like the intimidating part of Yakuza lore more so than anything is keeping track of all the characters, because there is a large roster.
So many.
Yeah, but they're all for the most part pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like they're all pretty well written characters. That's what I've seen pretty consistently throughout the Yakuza games that I've played.
Yeah,
So.
it's definitely the kind of game where like when I've talked about Yakuza 6 with Collin off air, because Collin, you're still not that far into the game, right?
No, I just hit like chapter 3, so
Right, so he's talking about these characters, and I literally can't say anything because I know so much more about these characters that happens as the story goes on. Or if I even say one small thing, it'd be like a big spoiler about what's going to happen with the characters, if that makes sense.
Right, but the writing for these characters is so good that I can remember a character's name, and I can actually place the character's name to like all the things that happen in the games that I've played with them, like Shimano, Shibusawa, Kiryu, Akiyama, Nishiki. Like I can tell you something about every single one of those characters.
For sure.
Like that's how well the game has written its characters.
Like one of them sleeps with two pandas staring at them from IKEA.
yeah, that's Yudai. You get to beat
Yudai was
him
in this
up.
game?
You get to beat him up in this game. Who dies? I died.
Okay, you die.
I died of laughter.
Okay.
And I do want to plug, I did write a review for Yakuza 6 at GameLuster.com. If you want to go check that out, it's GameLuster.com. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really
Go play Yakuza, damn it. That's what we're saying. GameRace did a video called "Why Are You Not Playing Yakuza?" or whatever he said. You need to play Yakuza.
I think I am going to stick with Yakuza 0. It seems to be the 80s
play that
one.
You cannot go wrong with Yakuza 0.
I did go back. I'm starting to play Kiwami now. I'm a couple hours into that, and I mean, it's good. Story's pretty solid, but I'm still feeling like, man, I miss the like quality of life improvements in the engine of Yakuza 6.
Yes,
like that stuff is killing me, and I think Yakuza 0 is in the old engine as well, right? Or is that in the 6 engine?
Yakuza. Well, no, 0's in the old engine as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Kiwami and 0 were released on PS3 in Japan.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
I don't know why I was just thinking about this. Well, I was just kind of thinking about how we've discussed earlier on the show that it's just so crazy that like Monster Hunter and Yakuza and Dragon Ball are like, you know, kind of like the most talked about games right now.
Dude, it's the
early part of the year.
It's the year of Japan right now, man. I mean, aside from God of War, it's been mostly Japanese games.
Yeah.
It really has.
Well, let me break that mold then. Let's talk about a French game.
Oh.
I think this is something we all played, and I just figured like might as well talk about it more on the podcast, right?
Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Two Souls.
Oh.
No, JK. The demo for Detroit Become Human.
All right.
Didn't we all play that?
I almost forgot. Wow.
Yeah, I played that a couple times. I did the thing. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's all. All right.
I mean, honestly though, like in all seriousness, it's a David Cage game.
It's so
it is a
fucking
David ass Cage game.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing. You know what to expect.
Honestly, like based on the demo that I played, for the most part, it's basically another like Heavy Rain type game. Like you know exactly what you're gonna get control wise, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's just a more like streamlined kind of like better feeling version of those type of games, right? But I feel like there's definitely like a lot of tropes there, right? Like if you kind of still like barely move the controller when you're supposed to move the character, he like stays paused where he is in the mid motion, and then if you let go, he kind of like reverses back really awkwardly. But like, I mean, definitely still a David Cage game through and through. Not that I haven't enjoyed it. I love David Cage games.
I mean, what I really appreciated about this demo is like I've played through Heavy Rain, I played through Beyond Two Souls. I don't think in game we've ever seen like a flow chart of like this is all the stuff you can do and these are the outcomes of your actions, right?
Right.
And it was really interesting seeing that in this one scene, and I really hope that all the other scenes in the main game have something similar. Right. Like I don't think we can expect every scene to have as many like branching paths and outcomes as this one. Maybe.
Oh,
I feel like
they won't.
I think you could.
I mean, I feel like there's some scenes that are just like straightforward, like they're presenting you with information. Like here's our straight up exposition. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I really want more scenes to have this kind of like level of branchability, because I think that's one of the faults of like some of his previous games is that there's a lot of what feels like branching paths, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like only a few real final options to most scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's interesting seeing here, like you can, like, I mean, I guess like they played this at E3, right? Like last year, this exact same.
Yeah, this
scene.
is the exact demo that they showed.
Right.
Yep.
So you're playing as Connor, you're exploring a crime scene and you gather evidence, and then you're trying to stop that android from, you know, like he's on the edge of a building with like the daughter and he has a gun. You're trying to like negotiate.
Right.
And,
you lied to me, Connor.
Yeah,
You lied to me.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. And I'm really excited to see like how other scenes are going to play out. Right. I think they're going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think this game definitely has the potential to be the best David Cage game so far.
Sure.
Like the general concept, at least for me personally, is something that really appeals to me. The whole idea of like AI and androids having human rights, right?
Yeah.
So that's a really big thing in sci-fi that they touch upon, and I just think there's endless amounts of like possibilities that could be explored with that basis, right? So the idea that they're doing the whole like, you know, androids do a revolution thing and fight for their own rights is a really cool concept. Based on the demo, I think that this is gonna like have the best writing, the best acting, maybe out of all the games.
Are you saying you didn't like Willem Dafoe's acting in Beyond Two Souls?
Well, then that's what I was about to say. With the exception of like Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page in and of themselves, I think gave really good performances in Beyond Two Souls because they are professional actors, right? I mean, Willem Dafoe played Willem Dafoe as a character pretty well. Like
that game goes some weird places, man.
It does.
no, it totally does. Like the writing is absolutely bonkers when you look at it. Like it goes all over the place.
Did anyone else while playing Beyond Two Souls like kind of subconsciously add at the end of every one of Willem Dafoe's lines like Spider-Man?
You said you did that.
I mean, that's what I did like the whole time. I couldn't not.
I can't remember. So does this game, after you see the outcomes, see, I like how they break out the flow chart for you to see like what's possible, when and where, etc. I can't remember though. Did they show a percentage of like what percent players, you know, do which outcome, or do you think
I
they
thought
will
they
for
did.
the last game?
I don't
remember
remember
seeing
seeing it.
I thought I
I
did.
can't remember.
Maybe
Okay.
I don't know. I thought I could have sworn I saw.
They should if they're not.
I could have sworn I saw like a lot of players pick this decision in this situation.
But
and
I
blah,
played
blah,
it.
blah.
I played it like 4 or 5 times, and I was trying to get like opposite, you know, like different outcomes, and I got 2 out of playing it 4 times. I only got 2 outcomes, and it was upset. It was not upsetting. It was like, but it was really annoying to me that I didn't know how to get like the other pathways to unlock. So it was like a source of frustration more than like anything else.
Gotcha.
I think what it was, because I got 3 different outcomes, I think, across the 4 times I played. I think what it is like, you know how as you're going through and then as you negotiate with the guy, there's like that thing like chances of success up 83% or like down 69%, right?
Right.
I think that's what it's checking the most. And then based on like kind of the more final decisions that you make, it checks like what the chances of success are. Wow, I stumbled through that. Like, for example, I got up to 100% before, and then I said, like, just put the gun down and we can talk about this. And then he did, and he complied, and it was, like, fine, right? And then
Then
there
he's
are
shot in
times,
the face with a sniper.
yeah, and then he dies.
Oh, I don't think I got that one.
That's the one I got. Was
Right.
the one
and then there's one I did where I was like just going for like the lowest success rate possible. Got like 32%, and it ended up with the guy trying to shoot the girl, and then Connor tackles him off the like building and like pushes the
dies.
girl toward the, you know, like safety.
Can the girl die Is there any outcome where the girl dies?
I didn't see one, but maybe?
I didn't see one either, and I was like, there should be, right? Like, that's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Not trying to be dark. I'm just saying, like, if there's no way that she can die, then it kind of
Right.
the stakes are a lot lower.
Right. It loses its you know
what I mean?
it's
I don't want
tense,
to. I mean, I don't want to see that. I'm just saying, if they're really going to go for this, or are they going to just sand down all the edges to the game?
But child abuse, Jack, can't have that in my video games because it's a medium that's not like movies.
It's
we
weird.
shouldn't talk about child abuse because it doesn't happen, Jack.
Yeah.
So the only two outcomes I got, I'm just gonna skip over that guy. the two outcomes I got was where the girl's fine and then you shove him over and you go and you die too, or can you die? You're an android, right? And then the other one was where I shot him in the head. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
And those are the two. That was it.
Clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
still excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and I think maybe part of the reason that maybe we're thinking like, oh, maybe it doesn't have stakes is that we played that scene multiple times, right? But I feel like once you get the whole game, I mean, at least for my first playthrough, I don't plan on being like, after playing one scene, like, okay, let me replay it like 20 times, see all my outcomes, Like, I feel like I'd want to play through the whole story, keeping the decisions I've made to see how it affects the future arcs of the story.
Right. It's a choose your own adventure game, essentially.
Right. But I'm excited. The one thing I hate about it is like, I hate that the right stick is both rotate the camera and interact.
That's bad.
That's
design.
really bad game design.
They need to fix that.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that's
I wonder if
almost
they're gonna
this
give game. They're always like that.
Yeah, there's
always
like
something weird.
There's always one little thing. Like, usually the way they do the controls in David Cage games I'm okay with because they do one thing that's like really interesting and then one thing that's really shitty. Like in Heavy Rain, do you remember how if you hold the left stick any direction, your character doesn't move, they just look in that way, and then you have to hold down R2 to actually get them to move?
Yeah, you had to hold down the trigger in order to actually move the character.
Right.
Yeah.
And wasn't there like 6-axis control in that game too? I feel like I remember.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
like
there
quick
was.
time events.
Like brushing your teeth.
Yeah, fucking, like gonna brush my teeth with my
Dude,
my
this
my
game should be in
DualShock.
VR. I think that'd be cooler. Like RE7 this.
I think this game would be dope in VR.
I think it'd be
I
sweet.
agree.
And even in Heavy Rain, the guy had a VR headset on, remember?
Yeah,
Wasn't that more
remember
AR?
that? Yeah, I think it was more AR.
All
don't
right,
know.
whatever.
But anyway, point being, that would be dope. Where you could like have your office and you could just like change it into anything you want to explore, like a crime scene. How dope would that be?
There needs to be
so
a VR.
awesome.
You should be able to play this game completely beginning to end in VR if you so choose.
I think
Like
that'd be
Resident
cool.
Evil.
That would be cool.
David Cage, what are you doing? They're putting I don't know if you guys have seen the ads, but they're putting in Alexa functionality with this game.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know
Yeah.
how. That's creepy.
It is weird. I don't understand. Like, what is it like? Alexa, do digital something, digital talk, or whatever
Dude,
the hell it's
ever
called?
since that bug came out where Alexa is creepily laughing at you out of the blue, fuck that.
Squeeze me?
Have you heard about this? You don't know about this?
No.
Are you serious? Okay, this happened like a month or so ago. There's a bug in Alexa, so you'll have her like chilling in your house, and you'll just be walking around like, I don't know, getting coffee or like, getting ready to leave for the day, and you'll just hear all of a sudden unsolicited, you'll just hear
Jesus. Oh my.
Alexa will like creepily laugh, dude, at random.
Throw
It's
it
like-
in the trash.
Yeah, fucking burn it in the fire. Are you serious? Like, fucking let the demons out, dude. Like, hell no.
Dude, I feel like Alexa would be one of those, like you'd be like have one of those scenes in a horror movie. You throw Alexa away and like you close the trash can and you look and the camera pans back up and Alexa's still sitting there on your counter.
And then it starts talking. Why did you throw me away, Collin?
Yeah, you wake up then, oh, dude, there is a stupid horror teen movie in all of this somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, can you imagine that? Hell no. So that was all I need to hear. To be, I'll never have one of those in my house.
Man, and now I want to throw mine away. Fuck that.
Bro.
Mine's like
Do you,
2 feet away from me right now.
do you use yours a lot?
I really only use it to set up alarms. I just yell at it and be
Really?
like, hey, wake me up at this time.
You don't like ask it the weather or anything like that? So what I do
Sometimes.
with my Apple Watch is really actually pretty useful. I have it change the colors of the lights in my living room
Oh, nice.
to like whatever I want, and it's like it does a good job. It's pretty impressive because you can say stuff like you don't have to just say general colors. You can be descriptive. You can be like, turn the living room forest green, and it'll do it. Or you could say like fuchsia, or you could say like like rose
Whoa.
gold.
Do you have
can say
like
stuff like that?
Do you have like Philips Hues?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. I've got no more games on my list. I think that wraps us up for gaming. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Feels good, boys.
Yeah,
to be
I am
back
looking
in
forward.
the
I
gaming
want to
talk.
say I am looking forward to that game. I don't know how great I feel about paying $60 for it though.
I'm gonna. It's a wait and see game for me though. Like I feel good about it, but like it's a wait and see game. Definitely not a day one game for me.
Man, people were so hyped during PlayStation Experience. Like if they had released it that week, I think it would have really helped sales.
I don't know. I'm like in on it. I'm going in day one because I freaking love David Cage games, even though they're not all that great. They're just
No, they're fun as hell. I mean, especially if you
They're
want to sit there and
unique.
do a drinking game while you play.
I think that Beyond Two Souls was a bit of a step down from Heavy Rain.
agreed.
So
At
we'll
least
see.
overall story wise, because that's the thing though. It's like Heavy Rain. The acting was kind of awkward and kind of B movie esque in some places.
Sean.
In a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like Ethan's parts were kind of really weird.
Yeah.
I thought the dude who played the detective, what's his name?
Oh man. Oh, I don't remember the detective's name.
Shelby, Detective Shelby.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of the FBI guy.
The dude who played him was really good, I thought.
That's the thing that he has not gotten by David Cage is he hasn't been able to release a game minus unintentional humor.
Right, and that's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I said, that game had mostly awkward acting, but the overall story was pretty damn good. But you get to Beyond Two Souls where you have Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page essentially carrying the acting front because they're pretty damn good. But the story in some points is just so crazy out of whack.
Yes.
Like, do you remember the part in the desert where you're getting chased by a giant ghost skull?
Yeah, that's
like,
some
what
shit.
the hell?
Dude, he's just going way too Kojima, I think, in certain parts.
I guess, man. Like the game is all over the place. You look at two screenshots from that game, they look like two completely different games.
Yeah.
for sure.
It goes weird places.
Yep, cool.
All right. So we've got something interesting planned for the latter half of our show, actually. So instead of talking about news, what we've decided is we're going to air our grievances, our perhaps maybe unpopular opinions, some might say, about games in general. I don't
Kind
think
of things where if you scream them to a bunch of video game fans, you'd have to duck because things are getting thrown at your head.
right. So I don't really know if I have a system for this. If we're gonna round robin or just like someone throw something out.
I feel like if we do like we go round table here, I think it'd go pretty decent.
Okay, let's start with some completely random news though, since we're not talking about news. I did want to bring up one thing. They're
Okay.
making a Monster Hunter movie. Did you guys see this?
Is it called Jurassic
And
World?
Fucking no, it's coming out like this year too, and fucking Mila Jovovich is starring in it.
What?
Yes,
What?
and the director for the Resident Evil movies is doing it. Like he's ruining yet another Capcom franchise.
I'm excited.
Why?
Oh, I'm so excited now.
Capcom, why?
And then the sequel, Monster Hunter Underworld.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, there's not really an overarching story, really, though, for the Monster Hunter games.
I mean, kind of there is.
There's some
Jovovich,
vague
dude.
lore there, but like the thing is, I don't think it's going to get flamed as much for the writing part of it.
Do we
Has she done
think?
anything good since Lilu in Fifth Element? Has she done anything good?
Well, my question is, do we think that Uma Thurman's going to make a cameo?
I don't.
Make it
Uma
even
Thurman
better
still
though.
act?
I mean, and by the way, they just announced Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for Switch.
Yeah.
Snap.
A port of a 3DS game to Switch.
Yeah.
Not that excited, but
Didn't
hey,
I
No, but at
call
least
that?
we're getting a Monster Hunter game on Switch, though.
Didn't I
everyone
call
was-
that like months ago? I feel like
maybe
it wasn't on the
Well,
show.
we were talking about Monster Hunter Double Cross possibly coming stateside.
which
Okay.
would be cool. But
Yeah, which would be cool. Everyone says it's even better than Generations that have played it, like with translation on hand.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's still cool that we're getting another portable Monster Hunter game with a second joystick. Thanks.
I mean, I'm still waiting on Monster Hunter World for PC. That's when I plan on jumping in.
Oh, it's only what, August is when
August.
it comes out?
3 more months
Wow, it's only 3 more months.
if there's no delay.
So with this segment, since it's off the rails already, like who should go first? Should I just go?
Sure, go punch it.
Yeah,
Do
go
it.
Okay,
first.
my unpopular video game opinion. I got a few here, but I'm gonna call Uno, and I'm gonna throw this out there. The Last Guardian doesn't look or play very well. Doesn't look good and doesn't play very well.
I was never interested in that game.
and it's very sad to me because it's coming off of Shadow Colossus. It's Trico. It took 12 years to make. It was like it led multiple E3s. It headlined. It was like the banger of the year, and it has disappointed me. And it's one of the biggest disappointments of the PlayStation 4. And now with the remaster of Shadow of Colossus 4, there's like no reason to go back to it. So that's my own popular first opinion, and I'm sure that you guys are gonna get mad at my other ones too.
So okay, if I would be the closest thing on this podcast to a Team Miko apologist.
Oh shit.
But I don't think I could go I couldn't sit there and ardently defend The Last Guardian. I was going to say Trico. I don't know why.
The fact that I fell off it is telling, man, because I played the other ones multiple times. I played Eco
here's the thing.
and
I like The Last Guardian, and I play it full well, like keeping in the back of my head that this is a game that took 12 years to develop, right? And so, like, I'm aware that, like, this is how a Team Miko game kind of controls, right? I know I've already heard that Trico isn't the most responsive, but I mean, it certainly doesn't look as good as it possibly could. Because I mean, they're basically taking it's basically an up-res PS3 game.
It looks like a PS3 game that's being brute forced, FPS through a PS4.
Yeah, and I actually, believe it or not, I don't have much of a problem with your criticisms of the game. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, like I partially agree, but I'm enjoying what I've played of it so far anyway. But I haven't gotten back to play it all the way through yet.
So you haven't even played all the way through?
No,
like, we
I mean, I guess
fell off it. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that in and of itself that says something. But I do plan on coming back and beating it.
I would love to.
It will happen.
Yeah, it's a bucket list game for me now. But it's like also no one is looking forward to the next Team Eco game. It's just
because no one knows if it's even going to happen, like because they take so long.
But after Last Guardian, now everyone's like, "Oh, I guess."
I think they still have another good game in them. I mean, I don't hope this next development cycle won't be as in much turmoil as the last one was.
That might have been their last game. Oh, I hope I'm wrong, but
Last
it might
Guardian.
have been.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be. I think they have a good vision for games. Like Shadow of the Colossus is still one of my favorite games of all time, and playing the remaster or the remake has only cemented that. But I mean, I think they have the possibility there. They just need to take a step back and do a lot more planning on how they go about developing games or something like that. I don't know.
Let's keep the train rolling. Someone else go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just gonna say I didn't even buy Last Guardian. I'm kind of very mad about it.
Are you into any Team Eco games though?
I mean, I'm someone who didn't think Shadow of the Colossus was all that, so maybe that's my unpopular opinion. But
so yeah, that's pretty unpopular. That's pretty damn unpopular.
Yeah, well, that's what kind of sucks about this like unpopular opinion thing. When it comes to Team Eco, like I understand why people would have qualms with those games, so I'm not going to sit here and ardently defend them.
I don't understand. No, I don't really understand why people wouldn't like Shadow of the Colossus. I don't understand that.
Well, if you sit there and talk shit about the soundtrack, then I might murder you. But like, yeah, come on. The soundtrack to Shadow is at least you have to admit is fire.
I need to go back and play that some more in HDR. It's so sexual.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's so.
So what's your actual one, Robert?
My actual one?
Yeah.
I've got some real fun ones. Let's go for like maximum fun.
We're not playing devil's advocate here. Where these are like airing out our dirty laundry, right? We're not just
right. These are like all true. Like this is
these are all our personal feelings, right?
Yeah,
we're not just finding those comfortable things to say.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to. I mean, it is partially.
We're not trolling. We're not trolling.
Like it is partially a joke, but also like I'm kind of serious about it. Shadow the Hedgehog wasn't that bad.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here's the thing. I've always heard it's so fucking bad that I've never actually played the damn thing.
Like, it's not as bad as
and you
Sonic
hope to
06.
get a job in the gaming industry one day with these opinions. I can literally hear your career tanking at this very moment.
Look. Here's the thing.
Robert Scarpanito in the games industry. He never was.
I would never in a billion years recommend that game to any living, breathing human being. But I did play it more than once. And I've been like, I mean, I've had worse. I could do worse things.
It's just a sad thought. It's just.
Is it sad? Is it Sonic 06 bad though? Like,
no, it's not as bad as that. IMO.
I get that maybe if you play a lot of Sonic games, then it's not the worst Sonic game, but the bar is super low there. Like Sonic has almost never been good. Almost never been good.
No, I agree, but I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. There's just something like entertaining to me in the way that I guess like watching The Room is entertaining, of watching Shadow the Hedgehog saying "damn" for the first time in front of kids.
You're tearing me apart, dude, Shadow. That reminds me of when I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the first time in theaters, the live action one. And Raphael
like the
said,
original live action
yes,
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Raphael said "damn" in the movie, and I was a kid. I was like, he said the D word. He said the D word. I'm in trouble now.
Mom, is my mom watching this?
Yeah. I was worried I was going to be in trouble from an adult when Raphael said "damn."
Yeah.
Anyways,
But I don't know. I mean, like they're like, okay. So I recently watched. I mean, recently, like a couple months ago, but I recently watched a Shadow the Hedgehog speed run, which is broken as hell, by the way. But like just watching it, it reminded me of so much. Like, oh yeah, there were like branching paths in the story. There were like good and bad. There were like 6 endings to that game.
wow.
You know, just shit that like you forget because it's not a good game.
Wow. I don't
Okay,
know.
guys,
I
we
gotta
don't really
catch
have a
my
good
breath.
game, but can the writing department do anything special to make this semi-okay?
We
Maybe
can
make
make him
out with
say
a chick.
"damn." We can make him say "damn." Does that work? Yeah, it works. Print it.
Oh, man.
Ship it.
Is that where they based Reaper off of? Overwatch. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, see, actually in the alpha testing, when Reaper does his ult, they actually originally had him say "damn, damn, damn," and then they decided, maybe that's too edgy.
Oh,
Let's just
man.
have him say "die."
I'm ready to hear Collins.
Okay, so... Oh, God. Okay. So, Knack is actually good.
You guys, I can't believe I'm friends with you. This might change by the end of the show. Are you
Okay.
serious, dude?
Okay, donkey,
No, not
explain.
at all. I can't say it with a straight face. I was just trying to I'm going to say this just to fuck with these guys. And I can't. I just can't. I can't commit. I don't know. Maybe Knack 2 is a little bit better, but who gives a fuck? Like,
Okay. Wow.
God.
Did you have an actual one, or is that it?
Yeah. So, The Last of Us is an okay game.
Oh my gosh.
Now let me expound. Fantastic. One of my favorite video game stories of all time. Gameplay was not that great.
I agree. I agree.
Gameplay was just not. Think about it. It's like it's not bad. It's not inherently terrible, but it's just like I don't think it's really anything that groundbreaking.
It reminded me of
I feel
Manhunt.
like somebody just took. They basically just took Uncharted and made it a slightly more stealthy game instead of a third-person shooter.
Oh, and they added ladders.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Manhunt. It reminded me of Uncharted. Yeah, no, it's not great, like groundbreaking gameplay, but it's what it needed to be. I don't know. I never thought the gameplay felt bad.
Like I said, I don't think it feels like inherently bad. I will say the melee combat feels really good. There's a lot of impact there because it looks like you're just kicking the shit out of people. But I don't think it's like, I don't think gameplay wise, like I definitely think the narrative for sure is like carrying it the most and the art direction.
There's a bunch of encounters that are memorable to me, and like some of them are terrifying. Like the upside down thing, like the one where you're in the basement. I don't know if you guys remember with like the water, I think, in the ground. Like, dude, that was horrific.
The one in the snowstorm. You know the one I'm talking about?
No.
You're playing as Ellie.
Yeah.
the bar.
You're,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
shooting
that,
bow
yeah.
down.
Like, yeah. There's all I don't know, man. So, all right. I would gladly play that game again if I had infinite hours, but
Yeah, same. I just like the story that much and its beats and stuff, but I just don't think the gameplay is just anything.
I'm looking forward to the gameplay in the sequel. So
I
that's
am
how I feel about
100% looking forward to The Last of Us 2, and I can't wait for them to talk about it E3 2018. Oh my god, I almost forgot what year it is.
I didn't mind the crafting elements. I thought they handled that pretty well. I don't know, man. I don't have much.
They could have did more with it. I guess that's all I'm getting at. They could have.
Yeah, it's not Monster Hunter levels, that's for sure.
No,
Thank God.
no.
Okay, here's mine, guys. All Kirby games are overpriced.
Let me do you one better. All Kirby games are bad.
Nah, they're not great. The first Kirby's great, I think. I just
don't
think
think-
I just don't
there's
think they should be
nothing-
charging full price for any Kirby game. They just don't seem to be deep enough.
Grill me in the comments, but I just don't think there's not really anything that's super appealing to me about the Kirby games.
I thought you guys would be Nintendo fanboys here on this. I don't know.
Oh no.
No, I mean Kirby's just never a series that was like, yeah,
I can't wait for that next Kirby game. I can't wait to pre-order it
and I
play
know
it day one.
a couple people that are like that. I do,
Really?
but I'm just like, I just don't. Yeah, I know like, a small handful of people like
what
that.
I hate about Kirby is that it hasn't innovated much since like Adventures in Dreamland.
I don't know. The newest game is 4-player co-op. I think it's kind of interesting.
Is it though? I mean, it is, but like, does that make it better, or
it's kind of like 4-player? Listen, it's kind of like 4-player co-op where you have like Mega Man powers. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. And each
I
one
mean,
can
what
have
I'm saying, I just don't know that it's doing anything crazy innovative as a platformer, at least anymore.
And here's here's something too. I played the demo of the recent one, Star Allies, and I got to a point where I got like the 4 teammates, and when you're playing a solo, they're just like their AI teammates. And I would just move Kirby around and they would kill all the enemies for me. I didn't have to swing my sword or shoot a fireball once. Literally, my allies did it all for me.
I did not realize this was going to be a Kirby hate fest.
Even the fucking final boss of the first level, I just fucking swam in the air.
The last Kirby game I played was Kirby's Epic Yarn on Wii. I think that game is awesome, but
okay, that one was
you
good.
literally cannot die. You literally cannot die. And even if you did die, there's like infinite lives. Like you cannot not beat that game as long as you're pushing right.
Hold on, I was thinking of Canvas Curse. That's the one where like you use the touchscreen to like draw lines for them.
And that's not supposed to be that good.
I mean, that one I thought was interesting because it actually did something different with the gameplay.
I apologize. Canvas Curse is the one on 3D on DS. That one is actually supposed to be really good. The sequel to that though, Rainbow Road or whatever it's called, Rainbow on Wii U. That's not supposed to be as good, but it's supposed to be the sequel to Canvas Curse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've just been playing the wrong Kirby games. I don't know. I played the original like Kirby like on the NES, I think.
No, well, Game Boy is the real. That's the real first one. I love that one.
I just haven't. I don't know. Something about the Kirby games just haven't pulled me in. They don't seem like something that's like
he's
gonna
definitely
blow my mind.
B tier. He's definitely B tier Nintendo, right?
Yeah,
character.
Like
gotcha.
What I want is I want a God of War level soft reboot for Kirby. Like I want to see a bearded Kirby who has
he throws an axe.
Like I want like to see him
to recall
in a dark world where he's eaten everything and there's nothing left to eat, and he's like the master of his own destruction.
He taps his heels and half the universe dies.
Yeah.
An edgy Kirby reboot.
Oh man, Shadow the Kirby.
Shadow the Curb Hog.
Oh no. Okay.
Jeez.
Next.
All right, let's get away from this.
Yeah, you're next.
It's getting too pointy.
Okay.
Getting too edgy.
Roberto.
I mean, I guess while we're on the Nintendo train, Super Smash Bros. Melee isn't great.
I'll do you one better. Super Smash Bros. Is overrated.
I thought you fuckers liked this game. I thought I was the one that didn't like Super Smash Bros. I'm confused.
I love Smash, but there's like, I mean, like Melee is still at Evo. There's a huge group of people who think Melee is still the best Smash, and like the future games aren't improvements. And for me, I'm like, I prefer the future games. Collin doesn't like them at all, apparently, but hey.
It's not that I dislike them at all, but like when people were like losing their minds about Smash getting announced, I'm like, yay. I mean, it's the same game again, just with new characters. Hooray. Like it's going to play exactly the same for the most part. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's not like, it's not really that appealing to me. And I feel it like it always has felt like pretty clunky to me. Like I'd rather be playing a lot more other fighting games than Smash Bros. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Tried.
It never really felt like good. Like it's not that I have like a bad time playing it, but like I've tried several times to like get into it. Right, like I'd hang out with my friends, and they'd always want to play like 4 or even 8-player Smash, and like I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, I know like Shulk, because it's not like I play this game very much, but Shulk is the character I know the best. I sit there and play Shulk, and backslash, ass slash, side slash
with the power of the Monado.
Yeah, for the power of the Monado. Yeah, but like done bad. But like, I mean, just playing at those characters, I would just get like bored after like 30 minutes, and I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. I just don't. Just something about the game just doesn't like. I could play Dead or Alive. I've played Dead or Alive by myself for hours.
Bloody roar.
Operatively,
bloody roar, dude. Bloody roar.
By yourself.
Nice pull. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, but honestly though, like legitimate, like regardless of like boobs and boob physics, Dead or Alive is a great feeling 3D fighting game in my opinion. Like it just plays well.
Wow.
But dude, I'm gonna like if someone like hears this and they're gonna gut me in the comments for saying this shit, but I don't care. Like I just never really felt like Smash was that enjoyable. The most fun I ever had with Smash, believe it or not, was in Smash Brothers Brawl, where they had the story mode essentially.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, pardon my ignorance here, but it seems like a very insular community, meaning that if you haven't been great at Smash since the Melee days, like there's no chance trying to pick it up now because you're never going to rise to the upper echelons, right, of that community. You're never going to win a tournament. Like,
yeah, I most always, even between my friends, I most always get just destroyed in Smash. Like I'm just not a
fan
also
of
not very good at fighting games, but
I'm not a fan of like the stock system, and like the whole point is not to just like kill them, right? But you have to like, you can hit them as many times as you want, but they still might not die. Like you have to knock them off this thing and keep them off. Like I'm just, it's not.
I mean, it's a unique concept. I think it's a cool concept, right? Throw all your favorite Nintendo characters into a game, pit them against each other in battles, and there's nothing that before Smash there was nothing like it. There was nothing like Smash.
That's the whole reason I like that. But once you get over that novelty, then you realize like it's just not that fun to play for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the one who's getting his Russells jimmied because
his Jimmy's rustled.
No, my Russells jimmied because I'm the one that actually likes Smash. And I mean, part of it might be because I didn't own a Wii or Wii U, so I didn't have like immediate access to Smash Brawl and Smash 4. Like it was only ever when I went over to my friends' houses, and that was like rarely a thing. So I don't know. I guess I'm excited to like finally be able to like own a Smash game of my own again. Like that's what I'm looking forward to the most, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll when my friends offer to play it, I'm never against it, but it's definitely not a game that I necessarily care to own.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, "Can't we just play Mario Kart instead?" That's what I would say.
on it, Jack, I am in the same boat with you, bro.
Like, surely you have Mario Kart if you have this.
Surely
slosh.
you have Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Actually, I was one of those fuckers who didn't own Mario Kart on the GameCube, and I only owned Smash.
Listen, I'm gonna say I can thrash
That's
at some Mario Kart if I got a good streak going on. Like I can get it in on some Mario Kart.
Man, I haven't licked a Switch cartridge in a while. Thanks for reminding me, Jack.
I have 4 Switch cartridges. I need more.
And
now we know what Robert's gonna be doing tonight.
You lick them in bed. Well, once it's been licked, there's no point in licking it again.
It's gonna be like that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's gonna be like that scene in Dodgeball.
Oh god!
Fucking Ben Stiller gets walked in on with the pizza.
It's shoving it down his pants.
Whoa,
yeah,
Michelle, never come in on my personal time.
Speaking of Switch cartridges, did you guys see those tiny little cases coming out of Japan for like $1 each? They're like miniature game cases, and they're just big enough to fit the Switch cartridges, and they go on like keychains.
That's cute.
It's super cool.
That also sounds like a terrible idea, and it's a good way to get your cartridge stolen.
It's a good way to get.
I'm just saying.
Lost,
I mean, yeah, if you lose your car keys, yeah.
It's like, oh no, I lost my car keys. Yeah. That's where I had Odyssey on. Oh man, hey, what about like
$60 fucking?
Like, hey, what about your Honda? Fuck my Honda. Where's Odyssey?
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to throw the mic to Collin, I guess. Collin, it's your turn.
Yeah,
right?
I think Collin's up.
Oh
now.
man, which one should I go for next?
If we're going to get through all these, we need to go faster.
I mean, we don't need to get through all of them.
I know, but I want to get through all of mine at least.
Well, okay, here's like the most important one, I think. Ocarina of Time is not the greatest game ever made. Far from it.
It's not.
It's not the greatest game ever made, but it's in the top 10.
So Ocarina of Time is touted on Metacritic as the greatest game ever made. It's the highest rated game ever made.
Wow.
So Ocarina of Time, while I love Ocarina of Time, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say like Ocarina of Time is an inherently bad game because it's not a bad game. It's a pretty well made game, especially considering the time. But I think that's the key word here. Considering the time, maybe at the time when 1998 when it was released, it was a pretty damn good game, and it's pretty revolutionary for a third-person action adventure game, right? With the Z-Lock-on system, that like no game has seen that before.
Right. Darksiders took it away, yeah.
Darksiders took it away?
Or Darksiders, like, copied it. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Darksiders is basically Ocarina of Time, but with death.
it's Darksiders is basically if God of War and Zelda.
God of War is basically Darksiders. Hence, God of War is basically Ocarina of Time.
What is happening? Anyway, but I mean, Ocarina of Time is just, I mean, it's very archaic nowadays. It's very simplistic. I mean, it's a simple formula that works for the game at the time, but you're playing it like now in the mindset of that time period, right? Like it's got a lot of nostalgia tied to it for a lot of people, and I think that's why people hold it in such high regard. But I think that once we get the new generation, like a brand new generation of gamers coming in here, right? Like give it, I don't know, let's say 10, 15, maybe 20 years. I don't think it's going to be touted as highly as it is now.
Man, respect your elders, bro.
I'd
I
say
respect
even,
the hell out of it.
Even kids now probably don't give a shit. Like, there are kids now who are playing Fortnite on their mommy's iPad, and if you tell them, what about Ocarina of Time, kid, they'd be like, what's that?
Man,
You know?
sad times. I don't know. I mean, it's not my favorite Zelda game. It's not even my second favorite Zelda game, but like I give it its props. Like hardcore.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
I'm not like
nothing
I said,
it.
I'm not disrespecting it, but like, I mean, people hold it in such high regard. I mean, I think honestly, I like Breath of the Wild and even Twilight Princess better than Ocarina of Time, and I know that's kind of sacrilege, but like Breath of the Wild, I can reason for. Twilight Princess is more so like my own nostalgia. I mean, because Twilight Princess is basically a more modern version of Ocarina. Yeah. Like, it's pretty samey. But Breath of the Wild, I would argue.
What I would say is that Ocarina of Time definitely makes the list on one of the most influential games ever.
Influential.
Yeah.
That's
if
a
we're
better
doing
word.
a list
That's
of
a
like
better
best
word
games,
for it.
best games of their time, like Ocarina of Time is right near the top.
It makes that too. But also, I mean, we just did a little bit on like Darksiders and God of War, right? Like taking from Ocarina of Time, like the existence of OOT has, opened the floodgates for so many best-selling games after it,
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah,
I think
great game, but I don't think there's games now that are doing more revolutionary stuff.
Right. And I mean, it's the same thing as like, I mean, people really like Tetris, but really that just opened the door for like more puzzle type games, like more Puyo Puyo and stuff. So there's a difference, I think, between respecting what came before you and holding on to what came before so hard that you still think it's the best thing ever. Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, I'm not going to trash Ocarina of Time in the same way that Ego Raptor did in his sequelitis video where he compared A Link to the Past to Ocarina.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you
Link
guys
to
see
the Past
that?
is way better.
I could see the argument.
I hope that's
I could
what
see
he's
the
saying.
argument.
That is what he
that's
said,
what
right?
he was. That's what he
Okay.
was saying.
That's what I think.
But I mean, I could see the argument. I don't know if I lean on any which way. I like most all Zelda games.
If you don't like Link to the Past, then I don't know if I can truck with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like Link, I mean, honestly, like almost all the 2D Zeldas are pretty solid. Besides the CDI games,
Even Phantom Hourglass.
Is that considered a 2D game?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that one out there.
Phantom Hourglass is fairly mediocre. It's not bad, but it's not great.
All right. Okay. Well, that is controversial to say the least.
Yeah, that brings us back now to Jackaroonie.
All right. Guys, video game collecting is not worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Shit. Okay.
I just think after thousands of dollars of my own funds going into it and having a literal entire room of my old apartment dedicated to it and having to spend money on rent, like just the whole thing and just all the setup, man, was it great to have? Like, yes, it was awesome to have. It was a cool thing, but I thought my life would be over if I didn't have it, and I ended up selling my collection, about 99.9% of it, and guess what? It's okay. It's okay.
He's still
You're still alive, Jack? You're not dead?
I didn't, Sudoku myself.
Sudoku yourself?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
I committed Sudoku.
And I'm fine, and I don't need it anymore, and now I'm strictly digital. I'll buy Infinity War when it comes out on disc. I'll probably get the latest Star Wars on disc. Like, those are movies, right? But like video game discs, I don't know like when or why I would do that. If it's here's my thought: if it's a game that I don't want to own and like not be able to trade in, then maybe I shouldn't spend time playing it. It's kind of my thought.
Yeah, you hear that, Collin? Game collection isn't worth it.
So I think, and so many of listen, and also I want everyone to make their money, get that money, like
chase that paper,
support people, support video game developers, like keep the industry going for sure. But at the same time, like games that are like out of print or like the company doesn't exist anymore, like there's just easy ways to get them for free on PC, and I'm not condoning that, but I'm saying like, if you're like, I must keep Vice Project Doom on Nintendo forever, I'm going to be buried with it, like, no, just go download it and play it real quick. It's a fun game.
Yeah, well, okay, like I see the argument against it, but I mean, the other side of that for me is it's a hobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a dangerous hobby though.
No, it is, and I agree with you, and I definitely limit myself when it comes to like spending on that, especially in the past couple of years. but like the idea of like going out to like say like a video game store and like meeting with people that also like love retro games and you know looking at all the stuff and you know where the game has been and like seeing all the stickers on it because it's a used game and it's been here and there and someone loved this game once, because if you buy a used game or buying a new game and supporting a studio or getting a limited edition of a game or a limited run game, like it's just, I don't know, it's something, it's like almost intoxicating. It's fun to go out and hunt for games. I love that. I love taking a day and just like go say, hey, like here's my budget for today, I'm gonna go look around and see what I can find. And I don't know, holding it in my hands is just nice. It's like a ritual. Like,
I mean, I get it. Like I like vinyl.
Like that.
I like vinyl too, but like at the same time, for every like cool dude I've met in that community, I've met some real jerks and some real like price gougers, and price gouging is a huge deal, dude. And like to put games up there in the 400 or 500 and they're like shitty games. They're not even good games just because they're rare. Like to tell people to like, hey, you know, that's a good spend of your money. Like, I don't know. I just think I'm not gonna tell anyone how to spend their money, but I mean, don't buy a game just because it was only a Blockbuster. Don't spend $700-800 on it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, okay, yeah. And here's what I will say. I only collect games that I truly want to play. I do not collect games for the sake of having them, unless like if I from some off chance I go to I don't know, a Goodwill
Garage
somewhere
sale.
and like a garage sale or Goodwill, and I see a fucking stadium events for Nintendo, like if that, you know, that's never gonna happen.
Well, that's just a sound financial investment at that
that's
point.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not keeping that son of a bitch. I'm selling it. Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm like auctioning that shit
I
off.
get that. I'm just saying that if you were to sell your entire collection now, Colin, I guarantee you it would not be as bad as you think it would be. That's all I'm saying.
No, it probably wouldn't be, and the thing is, I probably wouldn't get much for my collection because my collection really isn't all that impressive because I buy cheap games.
There you go. But you're gonna have to keep buying. I was in that loop though of having to buy more shelves now for more games and more shelves.
I mean, I like having that around. I don't know, and it's like it's kind of comfortable to me at the same time of like having these games like and having to be able to go through them at any time I want and like kind of, you know, making a plot to play through them and blah blah blah. But I don't know, like it's also memorabilia too, right? Like having a complete inbox Dreamcast is something I've always wanted, and that's really cool. Like, I mean, that's something from my childhood, and I'll always have that. I mean, I think it's cool.
When it got to the point where I was buying, like, for instance, like a Super Famicom, and I just like bought it and I owned it as like $100, and then what did I do? I just took it home and stuck it on the shelf and never did anything with it. Right? I was like, oh, why'd I do that? I don't know. There were too many purchases that I kind of regretted.
Right.
I mean,
well, because and that's kind of where I'm sorry, Robert.
No,
do you have something to say?
It's just like there's a difference. I mean, at some point, right, when you're doing collecting, you're not doing it for practical purposes, right? Like no matter what you collect, stamp, rocks, manga, books, right?
Right. That's
like,
the essence of collecting. Yeah.
You know, at that point, it's more like to say you own it, right? And that gives you a certain sense of purpose in, you know, your hobby or whatever. And that's what's the most important, I think. And once you reach that point where you don't feel the fulfillment of like, you know, oh man, I'm so excited, I finally get to get like this first edition of that book, or, you know, that really cool like picture frame or whatever, right? Like once you lose that fulfillment, then you get to the point where Jack's at, where he's like, it's not worth it.
I came to a realization that really what I want to do is what I found myself doing was I would come home with a big stack, you know, a bunch of bags and bags of games from 10 different places, you know, video game stores around the city, and I would play them each. I'd pop in every game for like 15-20 minutes at most and be like, okay, I played it, now I can put it on the shelf, and I would just work through the pile. And then I came to realize, like, you know what, I really just want to play these games a little bit, but I don't necessarily want to own them. That's another reason where a PC is a better solution for that, right? And so I was like, I really just want to get this game in my hands and see what people are talking about real quickly, and just, you know what I mean, just say I did, and then I don't really want to own this now at this point. So that's what I was coming to realize.
Yeah, and there's certain places where like I draw the line, right? Like I'm definitely not hardcore into like Super Nintendo and Nintendo collecting right now or anything like that, because it's so ridiculously expensive to get the games, like the really good games, the games that like a lot of people want to play because they are genuinely good games. It's such an investment. Like a lot of the time, a lot of the games for SNES and NES will cost you more than it costs to buy the system itself. Like,
or even the
crazy.
SNES Classic, yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I have an SNES Classic. I have an NES Classic too, and actually, like, even though it's kind of high price starting point, right? $60 for the NES and like $80 for the SNES Classic. It's the closest thing I like to get to playing on the genuine hardware. It's, it plays in HD, and I know you can get a Raspberry Pi, but I modded my NES and SNES classics, and I have like all the games I want to play on those systems on there.
Dude, will they announce the N64 classic at E3? That would be the shit.
Possible.
Maybe. I wouldn't put it past them.
Bro, that'd be so cool. I would be
I would 100% buy it too.
Even though there's not like 20 games I want to play on that system, I still would be.
Right, there's no RPGs on the N64.
Give me Blast Core or give
and
me
that is
Death.
not an unpopular opinion. There is no RPGs worth playing on the N64.
That's true. Quest 64.
There's Quest 64, but get the fuck out of here with
that.
that.
The lead character's name was Brian.
What? Hi, I'm Brian. I'm here to save the world.
I'm Brian, son of Danny.
Brian, son of Danny. No,
right,
I mean,
but yeah,
my final word on collecting is just that it's definitely an exercise against practicality. So it just depends on how much practicality matters to you, right? Like, there was a time where I wanted to collect like every book in this one manga that I read, and like I own maybe 14 or 15 of those books, each for about like $6 to $10 a pop. And I haven't read all of them. I mean, I have read all of them before, but it's not like when I bought the book, I like cracked it open and read each one. You know what I mean? It was more just like the feeling of owning it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what mattered.
Right. And I mean, granted, I think like when it comes to collecting, I think the worst part of it right now for me is like I bought a lot of PS3 games because PS3 games are just so dirt cheap right now, right? So it's one of those games where like, if I see like a game like I've heard like at least decently good things about, I'd be picking it up. But I think the biggest thing,
Go ahead.
No, biggest thing for me right now, honestly, collecting wise, is PlayStation 1 collecting. Because there's just so many damn good JRPGs on those games.
No, for sure. I definitely see that all the time. Yeah. Let me tell you though, the one game I did keep was Africa on PS3.
Oh my!
Because
yes, dude, that game is sweet.
Does it bless the rains?
That game, I hope it does. I do play Toto every time I play that game. But
it's also the rarest game on PS3 too.
No way, it is the rarest.
Yeah, dude, Africa's an insanely it's like one of the most expensive games on PS3.
Wait, are you serious? How much is it?
I thought
it was like $50. Will you look it up real quick, like price charting or something?
65.
That's not that bad.
I mean,
but for PS3 it is expensive, yeah.
Right.
For it not to be less than 60. Yeah. Dude, that game is awesome. I should like stream that game.
$188. I mean, it's all over the place.
Mine's complete in box too. So, but here, speaking of practicality, right? We're talking with someone that's getting ready to move cross country, like across all of the country. So
my answer is yes.
My question is, how big is your collection? And you're bringing it with you. You said yes.
I mean, my collection, like I've cut down on like actually collecting for like probably about the past year. Like I've bought a minimal amount of games, like mostly my PS4 collection. But even then, I've tried to avoid getting big box stuff. So like even now, my collection isn't like insurmountably big.
Well, like
it's
100?
not anywhere close to that. I think I have around 300 games physically. Yeah,
that's a
250,
lot.
300.
That's not small, and you're taking it with you. You're going to take up. What are you doing? Are you shipping it out there? Like,
no, like we're driving, so
it's going to take up precious square inches in your car.
In my car, yes.
Yeah, but you're
only taking one car.
We're taking two.
Are you selling your like beds and shit?
Why don't we also just tell everyone the exact route we're taking and let's actually call it. We haven't nailed down the plans of our road trip right now. So what route do you want to take?
You guys should do a live Mixler. No, I'm curious of the details now. I didn't really know that. Okay, so you're taking your whole thing. Okay, wow.
Yeah, we'll give you the hot dirty details after the show, but
okay. Yeah, let's just go as mundane as we can. All right, I think we've got enough time for two more, so that gives me a chance and Collin a chance to fire off one more each of our unpopular opinions.
Witcher 3, just rapid fire my team.
Witcher 3 ain't that great. It's good.
Oh, fuck you.
It's
fuck
good.
Everything about you. It's great. Dude,
I mean,
it's got some of the best storytelling in any game that I can think of. It's very maturely written. The graphics are incredible. On PC, it runs like a fucking dream. The music, Gwent is really fun. I don't know. I think it's definitely great.
I don't really have a horse in this race yet. I don't have enough experience with the game.
You don't have a roach in this race, you said?
Dude.
Yeah.
In every game now, I name my horse Roach.
Nice.
But like in Zelda, right? Breath of the Wild, I named him Roach. Dude.
I mean,
I'm sorry you can't enjoy great art, but
I mean, look, I sunk 170 hours in the game. Like I beat it. I get it. It's cool, but I don't think like Like people fucking lose their shit over Witcher 3. Like, oh my god, Witcher's so good.
I think that you're gonna change your mind. Maybe. I mean, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is like, there's a reason why Cyberpunk is like so highly touted, and it's not just because of the license. It's because it's the next game from CD Projekt Red, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They have a pedigree going, and I think, and also like, I mean, I know that this shouldn't matter very much, but the fact that on PC you can like hop anywhere in the world and it loads in like 4 seconds is like a technical marvel to me.
Right. Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's good. I just think it's a little overrated. I think the combat isn't that great. It's kind of like
okay. I hear more people hating it, though. I hear more people hating it than anything else. So to me, it seems underrated. So if you're hearing nothing but praise for it, which I don't.
No, I think a lot of people are just saying they hate it now just to go against the grain, like sort of thing. There's a lot more people coming out of the woodwork saying like, I just don't think it's that good.
It's way better than Dark Souls.
But that's not true.
But but that's with any highly touted game. Like there's people coming out and saying God of War isn't that good now. So like,
yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. It's like I'm not a contrarian to be a contrarian. I hate people who do that. Like I usually, if I don't like something, it's because I don't like it, not because you like it. Well, I must hate it, right? It's just, I don't know. I grew very weary of The Witcher's combat after the first like 5-10 hours. And like all the upgrades are like pretty passive as far as things go. So it was just kind of like, well, looks like all I have to do is choose the right oil. Then I win.
I still love the game. I love that game.
I still need to put some time into it.
It might be it's definitely in my top probably 20 of all time.
Fair enough.
I mean, I played Witcher 1 and most of Witcher 2, and I genuinely like the games, but
Witcher 3 is like the
Witcher 3 is way better than 2.
Way more accessible version of all those games. Those games are very deep cuts compared to Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is the mass market version of those games.
I mean, I don't know. Witcher 3 always seemed like the systems in the game were deeper than the other ones. I don't know.
Witcher 3 is so good, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, everyone keeps telling me about the game, and now it's making me want to play it. It's so much time.
Play it on PC.
It's a story that doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't pretend that like, oh, you're a child, so we have to explain everything slowly and in good detail and not get mature. Like, and I enjoyed it for that, right? Like, obviously I wanted to play the game long enough to get through to the end of the story and all the side quests that I did. But at the end of the day, when I look back on my time, there are a lot of times where I wish I could just like skip the combat.
Did you do the DLC?
No, I didn't.
See, for me, I was so over leveled that like fights were over really quick anyway, so I didn't feel fatigue really in that regard.
Oh, okay, that's another thing. I was over leveled too. I did a ton of side quests, but then it made like when you get over like the XP they give you is based on how leveled you are. So like you can do these long quests and you get like 2 XP because you're over leveled, and that just makes it feel like doesn't feel
because
worth it.
You're already there. I don't know. It's not that big a problem to me.
Fair enough. Collin, you're our last one here. Give us your most unpopularist opinion.
Well, okay, I'll do a quick one because I think you guys kind of know this, but I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Don't care. I don't care much for Overwatch. Just putting that out there, I guess.
I mean, I think that's been explored.
Yeah, I've talked about it a little bit because
if you don't like,
I joke
then
about
you
like
just
you
don't
guys
like
play shit games.
FPSs then. Competitive FPSs.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, hero shooters is a specific kind of FPS.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more so like I haven't really taken the time to get deep into it. I don't know. It's more so multiplayer games than anything, I guess. But it's just they're just games that I never really got into.
Slightly triggered.
Yeah, multiplayer games are just like I have so many single player games to play. It's like where do I find time to actually get into this game to get actually decent at it?
Like if this were a year ago, I'd probably argue more for like, oh, but Overwatch is actually pretty great. Now I'm very more meh about it, and I know that like people are getting more and more pissy about the toxicity and like comp is not worth doing, and
it's almost like MOBAs invite that sort of thing.
Kind
of.
The community is an issue. I mean, but they are taking steps to clean that shit up.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
they're doing what
League
they
has
can.
an entire.
I think to support the game to the level that they do, I think is very commendable.
I mean, that's Blizzard.
But I
respect the way Blizzard approaches that stuff.
I will admit I have fallen off, but at the same time, when I pick it back up, I usually have fun.
Yeah, I mean, like we played it kind of recently, didn't we? That was the first time I played it in like a long time, and for me, I was like
total mayhem.
Yeah, for me, it was like, I mean, this is kind of fun. But also, I just don't know if I'm willing to like jump all the way in.
We were stuck in that doorway for like 20 minutes. Then we finally got out, and we inched our way through, and then we were in overtime for like another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone just we left the cart, and that was that. And it was the saddest shit. We should have won that game.
You know, I just don't know. Like, honestly, I don't think I could pinpoint exactly what it is about that game that just isn't there for me. I just like I could sit here and play. Like, I played Battlefield 1. I went out of my way to buy Battlefield 1. I played the Conquest mode like quite a bit for a while, and I very much enjoyed it.
See, you're just a different breed, dude, because Battlefield multiplayer, I do not see the mass appeal in Battlefield multiplayer. I enjoy it.
It's like I don't know. I feel like it's Call of Duty, but with like an actual purpose. Like, everyone's not just like running and gunning and trying to kill each other.
No, dude, I don't feel like it's anything. It doesn't feel anything like Call of Duty, and to me, it's even more meat grindery than Call of Duty is. To me, it's way more like you spawn, then you walk forward and you crawl, and then you get shot, and you don't know who the fuck killed you. Or you didn't see them until it shows you where they are, and then you just do it again, man. I'm serious, dude. I've tried Battlefield. I've tried multiple Battlefields, and I just cannot get with that multiplayer.
Granted, like, I'm only coming at the scope that I've only played really mainly Battlefield 1. Like, I never really got into the multiplayers of the other ones. But tried, Battlefield 1, simply because it took place in World War I, that's what kind of got me into it. And I don't know, I never really got that meat grinder feeling, because usually if I do get into the point where, like, it hit a point where, like, wow, this is just a meat grinder, it usually turns me off from the game, and I won't really be playing it much. Right. I don't know. It just basically felt like Call of Duty with more strategy, or actual strategy.
I felt the same way playing Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 as well. Like, they're all the same engine, they all have the same feel. I don't know, it's just not. It's something I have tried in earnest to get into and have failed. Whereas Call of Duty and Overwatch, like, I fell into, and even Counter-Strike, I fell into very easily.
Right. So, I mean, but anyway, my real big one, though, is like, since the other one was kind of established, was, and I don't know how much of a horse you guys have in this race, but World of Warcraft, I never thought it was that great.
I played the 2-week trial, and it didn't convince me to buy it, so that's where I stand.
I think if you're playing by yourself, if you're not playing with a group of friends who are playing as much with you, then you lose about 60% of the pool of that game.
Yeah, and that's what I always hear. But like World of Warcraft, okay, so World of Warcraft, like, you know, going to school for in like a social science based major, like communication and stuff like that. There's been a lot of academic studies done with World of Warcraft, and like, I totally get it. Like, it has the social aspect for that, and that's 90% of the game. And I feel like there's such a curve for a new player to get into a game like that, especially now. Like, it's super hard to get into something like World of Warcraft.
Because there are like, what, 8 expansions to work through?
Yes, something like that, 7 or 8.
Which, I mean, I guess that means like you'll have hella content if you jump in right now.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's like then you have to find your way into a guild, and if you don't have people to consistently play for, you're fucked with getting certain like good gear. There's no way you can have raids, and you need to be able to communicate with people, and it's so hard to get into. And it was one of those things where like, and this, I guess this kind of sounds whiny, but like, growing up, I always had a group of friends that was into World of Warcraft, and they would talk about it, right? And I was like, I always thought when they talk about it, it sounded like the coolest fucking thing in the world. Like, yeah, I was building up my character, and like, I do this much DPS, and I was tanking. We did these raids, and I do these raids with my friends and have a lot of fun. And then, but of course, later on, they would talk about guild politics and like, oh yeah, this guy in my guild's a piece of shit and blah blah. But I mean, otherwise, like, it sounded like a genuinely good time, but like, I just never had the time or like the group to get into it with, and it's just, I don't know. It's a hard game to get into, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
And I agree. Like, without a group of you probably would have more success if you approached a group of friends and you were all like, "Hey, let's buy World of Warcraft right now," and like, let's all like set up a schedule to like play like, you know, once or twice a week or whatever.
Right, but not like even if you, me, and Jack did it. Like, we'd be like, what the fuck are we doing?
Dude,
like, we have not a single damn clue.
I honestly think it'd be a ton of fun, and I think so too. Don't want to do it because I know what that's like. I've like have the scars, the emotional scars with me still.
And I don't know. I mean, if I did get into an MMO right now, I'd want it to not be WoW. I'd probably lean toward like Final Fantasy 14 or something.
I have so much resources in WoW still too that I could go back to, but I'm trying not to. Guys, don't take me down here.
I think it would be hilarious actually if we did like a Twitch or YouTube series where like three absolute noobs play World of Warcraft.
I mean, we could play for free like till level 20 or something like that. Like,
that'd be hilarious, dude. Like none of us know what the hell we're doing. We're just playing.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun, but I don't want to do it.
No,
Too much
not
fun.
really. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think you still have to you have to still put some respect on WoW though. Like WoW has done a lot.
It's done
right?
a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
for
I
video
mean, like
games in
it's brought so
general.
many communities together. Like there's so many stories of like people who met each other through WoW and like they're best friends, they're married, they're you know like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of marriages. I mean, we ranked it the #1 time sucker in video games.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a group in one of my classes where he met his fiance on WoW.
Yeah, so it's definitely like a phenomenon. At least it was. I don't know if it still is. I mean, it's still the #1 MMO, right? I think.
I don't know.
In terms
I'd be
of, in terms of
curious.
subs.
I think so. I mean, all of their MMOs are essentially WoW clones.
They haven't
Yeah,
released
more or less.
subscriber numbers in a long time
while.
that I've heard, so I'd be curious to know what their subscriber count is now.
Like it definitely peaked a while ago. I know that for Final Fantasy 14 and ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, are like climbing up. I think they're like the number 2 and 3.
Yeah, why don't we play Elder Scrolls Online, guys? I'd be down for
Because
that.
it's boring as hell.
I heard it's gotten better. I heard it's gotten a lot better.
I mean, I played it like a year or two ago, and like me and my buddy were just like kind of grinding through quests, and I was like, "This isn't fun."
I want to try it out. I don't know. I have it downloaded.
I
All
mean,
right,
at
are we
least it's
going
not a
through the
sub
rest
feed,
of
but
ours,
yeah.
or what are we doing?
No, I think we should probably wrap up. I think
Can I
we're-
rapid fire my two just to do it?
But then we're gonna talk about them.
No, I'm just gonna say that Arc Systems Works fighting games are not fun to watch for 99.9%
You're
of
wrong.
the population.
You're so wrong, and I'm not gonna talk about it.
And then I'm gonna say Steam sales are not very good anymore either,
That's true. I think that's
and
common.
that's a sad state of affairs. But Arc Systems games are not fun to watch for most.
I think
people.
if you can't follow
Maybe.
Dragon Ball, you're blind.
Dude, that's crazy. That's
It's
crazy.
so easy to follow. Okay, whatever. So if you
It is not.
So hey, if you enjoyed what we did today on the Tiny Disc podcast, you could shoot us an email or to let us know your questions, comments, concerns, feedback, etc. Anything you want us to read live on this pre-recorded show, you can email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our website tinydisc.com, where you can find all of our social media links there, as well as all of our previous episodes. If you want to listen to us talk about Avengers: Infinity War spoiler cast, or I don't know. What else have we talked about in the past week, guys?
I don't know, but you can also go to my GoFundMe to help me pay off my traffic ticket.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Colin's GoFundMe. I got ticketed and towed in the same weekend. Please help.
Please help.
The goal is
Just feel down.
$420.
Yikes.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and if you want to help us out, you can leave an iTunes review. That would be really great. What you can do is go 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, and then when the cop rolls down your window and says, "Hey, do you know why I stopped you?" Tell him, "Because I wanted you to listen to the Tiny Disc podcast."
Yeah. It's actually this great podcast here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to let you know.
Yeah, if I would have rolled down my window and I would have been listening to us, and you'd be like, "Wait a minute, is that the Tiny Disc podcast?"
You fucking
Are you
Collin
Collin?
Sparling?
You the Colin Sparling?
Can
Your
sign my
beard
Tiny
looks
Disc
exactly as patchy as I
sticker?
thought it would. Yeah.
Got him. Where can we
Rip my
find you
beard.
guys?
I'm shaving this
online?
beard after this damn show.
Oh,
you
man.
can find me at @booboo__55 on Twitter, aka Collin and Mano.
At Mr_Cepeda on the gram.
On that gram. You can find me at Panoptimist, PINOPTIMIST, on all the social medias. And that should do it for us this week. Thank you so much for listening to the Tiny Disc podcast. And we'll see you next Thursday.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when Colin's speeding?
Oh my god, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep now. God, it's so much money.